save a life. Or perhaps helped keep a watchful eye on a neighborhood. Today, you probably helped put food on someone's table. Or help build a road that leads to a destiny. You may have even helped shape the minds of our future. By paying your taxes, you help keep critical medical staff in a job, a school to run, or a neighborhood safe, and a whole lot more. Your taxes help Zambia become better for you and me. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny. Today, you probably helped save a life. Or perhaps helped keep a watchful eye on a neighborhood. Today, you probably helped put food on someone's table. Or help build a road that leads to a destiny. You may have even helped shape the minds of our future. By paying your taxes, you help keep critical medical staff in a job, a school to run, or a neighborhood.
The Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, is determined to make sure that taxpayers in the country are satisfied and knowledgeable. That's why it has made an education program on various platforms just to sensitize about it. Today, I am privileged in the studio to be joined by Abigail and Chibeka from ZRA, and we are looking at the Authorized Economic Operator AEO program and the Customs Accredited Clients program. Abigail and Chibeka, good morning and welcome to Tax Chat. Morning. Before we begin our topic of discussion today, which is Authorized Economic Operator, we'll start by the introduction. We want to know who Abigail is and who is Chibeka. We'll start from my left. Abigail, kindly tell us who is Abigail.
Okay. My full name is Abigail Nidziwe. I'm an examining officer under Customs, under the AEO program, which is the Authorized Economic Operator program, and the Customs Accredited Client program under the ABRA unit at our headquarters there.
My name is Chiweka Chola. I am a collector and the same Authorized Economic Operator, also the Customs Accredited Client Program unit. This is a unit under the Audit and Business Risk Department of the Customs Services Division, under ZRA, of course. So, so we are here representing the unit, and we are grateful to have the pleasure of disseminating this information to the public. Thank you.
Okay. To kickstart with, what is Authorized Economic Operator and the Customs Accredited Client Program?
Thank you for that question, Nancy. So the Customs Accredited Client Program, which we abbreviate as the CACP, is a voluntary compliance program which was established by the Zambia Revenue Authority in the year 2008. It is derived from the Authorized Economic Operator, which we abbreviate as the AEO. This AEO was a program which was presented by the World Customs Organization in the year 2005. It is premised off the SAFE framework of standards, and these standards were packaged and adopted in the year 2005. So as ZRA, we picked up the CACP in the year 2008, and it was basically just a compliance variant from the AEO. We hadn't launched the AEO program then, but we had to have some form of trade facilitation program, which was similar to the AEO, but a local program, just to allow us to facilitate trade. Yeah, so basically, both programs, the CACP and the AEO, the programs are aimed to secure revenue, revenue collections, that is, and to promote trade facilitation worldwide. This is through enhanced cooperation and understandings of various supply chains. So, if you allow me, I would also like to say that it is worth noting that in the year 2019, the World Customs Organization, which is the international body for that we follow as customs, had sent some representatives to Zambia for a diagnostic mission, where they came and they had a look at the program, the preferential trader program that we had established, which is the CACP. They came and had a look at it, and they gave us some recommendations on how we can expand the scope of the CACP in order to allow for more trade facilitation, in order to align it more internationally. So from those recommendations, they had also advised that we need to include AEO matters into our law, and through that, it led to the amendment of Cap 322 of Section 184A to include AEO matters. Through that, we were able to also launch the AEO, the Authorized Economic Operator. This was launched last year in October, 25th October 2023. And so that's why now our unit is not only the Customs Accredited Client Program, but also the Authorized Economic Operator. It caters for both the local program and the international program. Thank you.
All right. What is the scope of these programs, Abigail?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. So currently the CSCP and AEO program regulate and facilitate cross-border activities for our importers and exporters. And it is also, however, important to note that we are currently accrediting our bonded warehouse operators and our clearing agents. We're in the process of bringing on board our transporters as well.
Okay. And what is the rationale behind the Authorized Economic Customs?
So the rationale behind these two programs was due to the increase in our trade volumes. We also saw an increase in our investment opportunities, and we needed to find ways of reducing the amount of traffic in our borders, in our airports, in our entry points. So we had to come up with these programs so that we reduce the amount of time, the border time, the cost of a person spending at the border. Yeah, so this program looks into activities that will allow our clients that are accredited on the program to enjoy a facility called expedited clearance.
Is there any legal framework or policies governing the AEO, Authorized Economic Operator Program?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Yes, as I had just mentioned earlier, after the diagnostic mission, we had to amend Section Cap 322 of the Customs and Excise Act, particularly Section 184A. So that Section 184A, prior to 2019, was only covering matters of the CACP program. But after 2019, it was amended to include aspects of the Authorized Economic Operator. So that is our official legal backing for the same. But we also have other governing policies for the AEO and the CACP. One of which is the compendium of policies and procedures that we follow. We also have our AEO rules. These rules help govern the program. They give us the proper pathway that we use, which is internationally aligned, because the AO, unlike the CACP, is a national program. We also have the revised Kyoto Convention. For everyone in customs, or anyone that deals with customs, they'll know that that is pretty much like our Bible. It is one of our founding documents. That the convention is what has led to the customs we know now. And we also have the safe framework of standards. The safe framework of standards is a very important it's a very important governing policy, because it is basically the foundation on which we have the authorized economic operator, and also we have the CACP. So with the safe framework of standards, I can just break it down a little. It has 3 pillars. The first pillar being the customs to customs partnerships. This entails that customs administrations from like our country in Zambia communicates with other customs administrations from other countries in order for us to ensure that we are able to facilitate trade in the best possible manner by giving each other advance information on cargo. It allows us to gauge the level of risk that we have with different assignments, and also manage traffic. The second pillar is the customs to business partnership. This is very important, because for both the CACP and the AEO, what we are encouraging is that these are partnerships that we are building with our clients, the business. They pay the taxes, they help run the economy. So as opposed to looking at them as clients, we choose to look at them as partners, and we form partnerships with them, relationships with them, see how best we can help them and ensure, because what we understand is the more we facilitate trade and help them, the more tax revenue collection we'll be able to achieve. And the final pillar is the customs to other government agency partnership. This is also important, because customs is not the only cross-border agency involved in the facilitation of trade. We have other border agencies as well, and so not only customs is going to be involved for goods to either come in or come out, or go out of the country. And so through this customs to partner government agency collaboration, we're able to liaise with our fellow government agencies on our clients, these CACP and AO clients. If we're able to extend certain benefits to them, if our colleagues in other agencies are also able to extend certain benefits to these trusted clients, then it makes trade facilitation much easier. So for the local program, the CACP, we only infuse two of those pillars, but for the AEO, we use all of those pillars, because that is the one that is most internationally recognized. And I just had to emphasize a lot on the safe framework of standards, because it's basically the foundation for this program. Otherwise, we have other policies that govern our program, such as the GATT, which is the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, the World Trade Organization Agreement on Trade Facilitation, which particularly is Article 7.7, 8, and 12. This agreement is actually what even allows us to engage other government agencies, because it is an agreement with the country, and our goal is to show one government face as AEO. So this compels other agencies for us to all come together and manage our risks together. And finally, of course, is the Border and Trade Facilitation Act. All in all these policies and legislations that I've mentioned, these give us the legal framework as the AO.
Okay. Okay. Abigail, who is eligible to apply for the membership to the Customs Accredited Clients Program and Authorized Economic Operator Program?
Currently, we encourage all our economic players that meet, of course, certain criteria that we put. one of the criteria is they should have been in operation with a valid license for at least a period of 3 years. And they should have good compliance records with all our operational units under ZRA, as well as our partner government agencies. And the board of directors of the companies should not be linked to any company that has gone bankrupt before. And the directors, including all employees of the company, must be free from any sort of conviction. Yes. And then also the companies should have a clear organizational structure, which should include offices that are in charge of, for example, human resources, compliance, and security matters for the company and those of the.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically it's all our economic players with a clear record. Yes.
And about the financial statement, what do you say about?
For bankruptcy?
Yes.
Okay, I can take that one up. So yes, in relation to the financials, of course, in order to apply the program, you have to have existence as a company for more than 3 years. Because what we are going to do is we'll look at your financial statements for the last 3 years, and that is to give us confidence and to ensure that your company is a going concern. It's not a company that's going to fall into bankruptcy, like you had mentioned, because we that if a company is showing signs of bankruptcy, then they are most likely going to pose a risk to the program, and that is not what we want. We only put compliant clients and people that are able to show certain financial strength in terms of them being a going concern.
You are watching Tax Chat with Zambia Revenue Authority, and in studio we are with Chibeka and Abigail, who are helping us discuss about the authorized economic operator. Our phones are open for you to contribute or comment concerning the topic that we have today. For now, we go on a break. We'll be right back. Don't change the channel.
Alo, bakamba yashani. Uthi mangwasha so sure. You can't leave me behind like this. You move, we know. Nikamba naiwe. You don't realize that by taking your receipt, you are ensuring a fair playing field for businesses and their tax obligations. Take me with you, Iwe.
By ensuring we receive a receipt every time we make a purchase, we're ensuring that businesses honor their tax obligations.
Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you are watching Zambia Revenue Authority, and today we are looking at authorized economic operator. And to help us look at this, I'm with Abigail and Chibeka. My viewers, mungashiteko contribute ngati muninako na ma questions yali yonse concerning na topic ya minute nayo lelo. My phones yali open. Mungatenge pa ma screens yano. Thank you. Back to our question. How do you determine the compliance levels of the economic players? Mungashite bwanji determine my compliance levels of the economic players.
Okay. Thank you for that one. So for this, how we can determine the compliance levels for economic players is very much it is that we get clearance first. Ngamachtako apply for this program. That application, then we are going to pass it through yonse operational units muzeda just to ensure that muibe mlandu ili yonse, because we can't put somebody on a company on the program. I mean, issues. Yeah, clean. There are no issues, and also because, like I mentioned, for the AEO, T7s and our other government agencies. So now we clear. They also have to clear you to make sure that you don't have any issues from there. Ija ikapita clearance ija. Once we're cleared from there, then we are going to the checklist. Yeah, it's like a form with different questions relating to the internal controls of the company. Mwema sevenzesa company inga ilinama different departments. Not muntu mozi inde accountant ni HR manager ni security guard ni bonds. That's not what we want, because is a little risky, because one person can't be responsible for all of those things. So we have to ensure that there is a separation of powers within the company, which is going to allow us to determine the level of application of internal controls in the company to ensure that the security in the supply chain. What meaning I'm going to come back supply chain is that to make sure that company the way you order things, the way things come into the country, you're using means that are able that we are able to quantify that are in line with customs regulations. Make sure that the smooth pizza smuggle, but no, maybe today order mpangira, so then my law order mpangira in a different manner. There has to be order in the way you operate. So through those questions, checklist, my questions. Yeah, who is responsible for this? Who is do you have a finance manager? What does he do? Marozi, our finance manager, HR, security, different aspects of the company. So mukachonga vija mumalemba yes no. My questions yonse amene muzayankati yes. Tizafu nikaona ma document. Kaidi inga company ina ma internal controls yabu once everything konkala documented. Because inga wachitako hire muntu, if someone is hired in your company, obviously mfuniko wapasa raw profit iyo nchito yako ni kusta so na so paper, so that even if uja muntu achitako retire or maybe is fired, nga kuliwina ngo amene muzachita employ na hivi afu nikachitako che vasem, not that muchache depend on one person, because nchito enzo chosa che mutu they're supposed to follow proper standard operating procedures. And so meaning muka checklist kaja votes avamene muzakamba yes muzatipasa ko document ya company to say no company master so na so you document, company master so na so you document, just like that, not just company kusebenze such a freestyle. We require order in order to facilitate for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Abigail, what does it take to be registered as an authorized economic operator?
Okay. So in order for you to be accredited on any of these two programs, firstly, we have 14 application forms. Yet mapasako our economic players were interested in applying for this program. Then my colleague is wakambako self-assessment questionnaire. So a self-assessment questionnaire na evitima mapasa, so that they answer those questions that apply to their company. Na vewa chitam company umu. Then after they answer your self-assessment questionnaire, bashta apply na application form, they submit those documents to us. When they submit those documents, isetima pitamo, we review and check what they would have answered in their self-assessment questionnaire, as well as the application form. Then, of course, my colleague also mentioned to say, sufunika wina mulando in any other our operational units within ZRA and our other government agencies. So tima pita na mweve omo, we check if you've been cleared, you don't have any tax issues. That way we operate in coordination with our other partners. Then, of course, tima check ngako nama procedure and policy documents that the company has. One of them being a mini self-assessment questionnaire. You are my different questions regarding their company. Yeah. Then after that, we notify them. We notify that company through a notification letter. Yes, where we tell them to say, we've looked at your application, and manje, we are interested kubwela ma premises kwanu to come and see vemwalemba mu self-assessment questionnaire, so that we prove to say vemunatiyanka mu questionnaire muja ni same with what's on the ground. Yes. Then after the notification letter, the company will respond back to us to let us know to say, yes, we've received, we are interested in your visit and you're welcome. Yeah, so after that, we'll give them an engagement letter now, which will give a date of when we plan to do these site validations. Yes, so after the engagement letter, we go and do the site validation now, where tima checking amanje, we look at their infrastructure, their security, their documents. We review their documents, because now they have to provide us with the evidence of those questions that they were answering yes to say, no, yes, we have a human resource officer, yes, we have a security officer. We'll now meet those people personally and have a conversation with them. Yeah. And then after we do that process, we now move on to what we call the reporting stage. On this stage, we go back to our offices and we'll report back what we would have found on site. Yeah, so from that report, we are now able to assess to say this company is able to be on this program. Olo aba siba ngankali pa program apa, from what we find. And when we find that, we still guide, we still write back to them and suggest where they need to improve in order for them to be accredited on this program. Yeah, and for those that are successful, we have a committee that sits to do the approvals, and they will be certified and then brought on board to be on this program.
It's to find out nanga validate period for the authorized economic operator na customs accredited clients program nichani.
Okay. Zikomo, for that question. So after company apita once is a process that my colleague has just explained, application, audit, reports, the recommendations. Ikapita company and it's been cleared to be on the program, whether an AEO or CACP, membership is permanent. The only thing that will happen is that the company has to exhibit consistently exhibit good compliance, meaning that muli membership, yes, it is permanent, but sufun kopanga mlando, you should not bring about any problems, because mkankala pa program either A or CACP zakupasa ma benefits yambili. We'll get into what the benefits are later soon, but because of yonse ma benefits ya jameni zakupasa Stephen Omvela at no after awafaka pa program awantu wambo pizza vintu vamene often kopitisa olu wambo chita smago vintu o wambo leta makatundu yawe nenochi yawo just because wewe wali pa program shanishan, you know, you have to exhibit good compliance throughout. And if that is done, the only thing is now that every 3 years, ikapita 3 years, we come again to your premises, chako ka review validation. Ona chata no vonse vilibuino monga, just like again 3 years, because like we said, so a company has to be in existence for at least 3 years. So we look at my financial statements at 3 years prior. So after taking up a program with 3 years pass, we come again and look at that and at everything, not just your financials, but my procedures and policies that you have in place. But at the same time, na 3 years simapita ingamapanga mlandu, we are able to suspend or expel or just suspend and then come and do another validation, because we want to understand why mupanga panga mamlandu, because a program you were showing good signs of compliance, which gave us confidence to put you on the program. But if we start seeing these issues of non-compliance, mlandu apa, we have to pause, suspend you, depending on the level. Ingani mlandu maningi tikitosanche yonse per program, and still come and do an investigation to find out what is the reason for this. So basically, that's the validity period. It's permanent with a review every 3 years, or as and when necessitated by customer.
Okay. Yeah. And what benefits are enjoyed by clients certified as customs accredited clients program and authorized economic operator, importers and exporters? Okay.
Maybe let me get that one.
Okay.
So the benefits that are accrued. Firstly, I don't know if we had mentioned this earlier, but currently the CSCP is only applicable to importers and exporters. Those are the only two economic operators. So inga mumacha import, mumacha export makatundu or any goods or services, then this program is for you. Authorized economic operator is more internationally recognized, is the internationally recognized actually. And that one, currently, it's only for importers and exporters, but it has got space for expansion. Faka ma bonded warehouse operators, ma clearing agents, na ma transporters. We are going to include those other people to enjoy these trade facilitation benefits. But as for now, as I'm speaking right now, it is both CSCP and AO are only applicable to importers and exporters. So when it comes to the benefits that they either both CSCP and AO members are that they experience by being on this program, there are quite a number of benefits. I think the first one is that there is zero border intervention for their consignments. Meaning ingamuleta vintu ngamucha import or mucha export yapita chabi, because we know who you are. We know who your agent is. Kali mandatory appointment of agents now. So yeah, and we know what goods you are bringing in. These are many muleta. And you declare these things. There's pre-clearance, mandatory pre-clearance. So you are declaring these things even before the truck arrives at the border. So meaning there's zero border intervention, 100% blue lane, because pama border tina ma lanes tina yellow lane, which means that truck ikafika pa border, go checking my documents, we stop them and checking my documents and once available, then desire passer will clear. Then kuli red lane, whereby physical inspection, funko search a truck. And maybe if it's a lot of risky goods, we have to search the truck. And only after searching the truck, that's when it will now go to documents, to look at the documents, and that's when it will go. And then you have, we've got the green lane, which is for certain risk-free products. But finally, there's the blue lane. Blue lane, in there, no intervention. So immediately, the goods, much I declare per system are goods, they're assessed and the truck is free to go. So zero border intervention, that is one benefit. The other one is that there is special release of consignments before payment. So Moedili is that everyone else, as long as in Sulipa CACP or Smulipa AEO, you have to pay for your goods first before being allowed to either exit or enter the country. But for our clients, AEO and CACP, these guys are given what we call a special release order. So this special release order allows them to pass our borders without making payment just there and then. They are given that privilege because we know who they are, we know how they operate. They're not going to hide. These people, they're too big to hide. We know we've validated their systems, so they're allowed to just leave. However, because by law it says that you have 3 days. So 3 days from the time when the entries are assessed is what we give them to pay. So that is actually another benefit. Mungalipile after 3 days, after Makatundi Apita, after 3 days, that's when you are within the 3 days anyway. That's when you are allowed to make payment. If you prolong it, if it passes the 3 days, then interest starts applying. And essentially, for our clients, CACP and AEO, it's not encouraged for them to go beyond 3 days. Everything is supposed to be done by the law because everyone else pays before. So you who's been given 3 days, at least you even have some time to cycle and drama or to get your books in order and make payments. Yes. Another benefit is that CACP and AEO members are privileged to have what we call destination inspections. My destination inspection, or in short we call them DIs, these are done in a situation whereby I had mentioned that there's zero border intervention for these clients, but if maybe we have some intelligence or we have reason to believe that despite this person being an AEO or CACP member, we've got intelligence that they may be doing something wrong, and there's something wrong with this consignment, with this truck or something. Yeah, what we do is that because they are accredited members, we give them the benefit of the doubt, and we will just seal the trucks. Tizafa kama seals yatu kama truck. Seals are like our locks, for instance. Yeah, we put our own seals on the trucks, and we allow the truck to proceed. Izapita truck izaenda kuma premises where it's supposed to go, and then as ZRA will follow them to where they're supposed to go, to their premises. When we go to our premises there, that's when we cut the seals. The seals that we put, that's when we cut them, and that's when they'll be allowed to offload. As they're offloading, that's when we're doing our inspection to make sure that whether the intelligence we got was correct or it was something that was not correct. The reason we allow this to happen is because you are an accredited member, Muripa program, validation, we have done all these things. So we have no reason to believe that you should abrogate what we have agreed on. So instead of you staying at the border, doing my physical inspection, which will maybe be more costly because your transporter is going to charge you more for demurrage because the truck is staying at the border longer than it should have stayed. And then those charges, we know how businesses work. Those charges will end up going to the consumer and the like. So in order to avoid all of that, we allow that to happen. And then when we go to your premises, if at all, when they're offloading the goods after we cut the seals, if there's nothing there, then at least there's no loss for the company. But in the instance that we get to your premises, we start conducting the destination inspection, and we find that the company has indeed broken the law as suspected, then we are going to charge and penalize accordingly. So at least they've got that benefit of destination inspection. Even if the goods have to be inspected, it won't be at the border, it will be at their premises, which allows even for better planning. We also, another benefit in Angola tima pasa ma AO na CSCP is expedited clearance in times of system downtime. So inga no track yako yafika pa boda wakuza no kulibe system wait, because some of these things are beyond our control. So maybe if there's a problem with the system, which is quite rare anyway these days, but in the instance that happens, if you are either AO or CSCP, you must expedite, because we know who you are. So maybe we'll revert to manual means of understanding who this client is and allowing this client to pass, and we just reconcile the system mekabuela because you are an accredited client. Yeah. And then on as customs, ZRA customs, for import and export for our business, for our operations, we use a system called Ascuda World. And so on Ascuda World, for either AO or CSCP clients, my declaration, like when you're making an entry in order to a declaration to customs on Ascuda World, for these clients, they've got special logos on their declarations. And you can get the CSCP, zalangiza pamwamba pajat CSCP, and the AO zalangiza pamwamba at AO. This is to allow differentiation between accredited members and non-accredited members. It's even at least in the track road, you know, you've got the documents printed out because they don't have access to the system. These are accredited and not. And this actually is another benefit, because there's minimum intervention from our enforcement. Muza wa ZRA timankala na my enforcement units, where we are on the road all the time, checkpoints, just making sure that everything that is passing is supposed to be passing correctly. But for CSCP AO, it's minimum intervention for those. They'll stop the truck. When the truck driver gives them the documents, they'll see that these are accredited people, CSCP AO, let's allow them to pass. But even if maybe enforcement stops the truck, they see that in CSCP or in AO, but they have reason to believe that all on CSCP or AO in Namland, you know, we've got a lot of networks. Yeah, so if we get that, we'll still have that same thing where we put seals on the truck. We put seals on the truck and allow the truck to proceed, and then when it arrives, we'll follow it and then do our inspections there. My CSCP and my AO members are privileged to have a case manager, or should I say relationship manager. So this is someone designated from my unit who is going to be the liaison between our officers and themselves. So in a company, yangena pa program CSCP or AO, at least muzanka na relationship manager. Mukanka na issue ili onse, or maybe when a question, we want to find out, you want to bring in these goods, how would it be, or just any customs related or ZRA related questions, we are there to help and assist. Maybe it can be for another department, the question that you're asking in relation to another department, and we may not necessarily have the answers. At least we're able to direct you on who to speak to. Pasanche guidance, you know, as a relationship manager, to make sure you've got the best experience, because this relates to that pillar, customs to business. We are just there to ensure that you have the best possible experience by being on the program. And then there is also the issue of eligibility for self-assessment or self-audit, which leads to no penalties. So Vetikambapa is that you, as a company, munama transactions, you know, yambili throughout the year, we allow you to look at a certain period, maybe in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Mwazila ngarapo, you engage a consultant probably to look at all your entries, all your transactions. My transactions, you know, ZRA must scrutinize more na bwino to check if there were any mistakes. You know, if there were any mistakes or anything, any wrongdoings or just misclassifications, just any mistakes, you bring it out in a self-assessment document, a self-assessment rather itself, And if you work at later to say no, we've looked at ourselves and we've seen that here and here we had some issues where we didn't declare properly, or maybe even you overpaid instead of underpaying. You bring those things to us. Obviously, there's no penalties for overpaying, but if maybe you underpaid or underdeclared certain things, we won't penalize you. We'll just have you just pay the principal amount as you were supposed to pay, and you continue with your business. However, it's a different situation if members of or customs officials go to your premises, because we've got this unit under our same department called post clearance audit. They are responsible for, they go to your premises, they'll look at your transactions for a given period, and if they find mistakes, they'll penalize you. So this is them going to you. But when it's you as an accredited member, either AO or CSCP, ngamwaleta chemweka mwaleta awe it doesn't want after one at hapa na hapa tunapanga my mistake, here you go, this, there'll be no penalties, but penalties will apply if they're the ones to follow you, not us as CSCP AO. We are a different unit, but there's another unit responsible for that. Yeah. And I think the last one in relation to benefits that are accrued to both CSCP and AO is that we give ZRA facilitated client education and coaching. Obviously, this comes with the objective and the bias at enhancing compliance. So, Zambo Pisamoni ingakuli maybe policy yanyu come out by ZRA, there's a new public notice, there's an amendment of an SI. We, as relationship managers, we are there to ensure that you are kept abreast with any new developments that arise in our space as customs and the like. This is what will also in turn allow you to be more compliant. Muzambo ziwa vochita not that west inaziwe wa ZRA west mnatiuze shani. No, officially ZRA will put public notices in newspaper shani from social media bazafaka. But in addition to that, because Mulima accredited members and Mulina relationship manager will also personally email you or call you or let you know of this, just in case maybe you missed it, you didn't read the newspaper that day. Us will let you know that this are the new changes that have come in. So yeah, those are benefits that go to both CSCP and AO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abigail, what economic gains do clients get from the accredited economic operator program?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. So, as earlier explained by my colleague, when you're on this program, you enjoy a number of benefits. And from those benefits come economic gains. So, firstly, you enjoy a reduction in trade costs.
Sorry to hold your thought. We seem to have a caller. Good morning. You're through to Tax Chat. Sorry, it seems like it has cut. You can go ahead, please.
Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about a reduction in trade costs and increased growth in trade. So because you're spending less time at the border, you're enjoying 100% being on the blue lane, zero border intervention. You enjoy trade facilitation gains through this expedited clearance, and then you also be...
Sorry to hold your thought. Good morning, here through to Tax Chat. Kindly tell us your names and where you're calling us from. Your name again? Oh, okay. Munga Chite contribute, maybe.
So I'm actually following the program.
Okay.
And I've got 3 questions to ask.
Okay. Go ahead.
Especially regarding the authorized economic operator. Yeah, because we are both agents, and then we also run a bonded warehouse. So the question that I wanted to ask, with the introduction of this authorized economic operator, I wanted to find out what the benefits will be specifically for agents like ourselves who have a bonded warehouse which we are running. So that's my first question. And the second question is because from the explanation from the panelists there, there was a statement to say the AEO are more international compared to the CACP. So what I wanted to find out, for those importers who are already on accredited under CACP, will there be a need to migrate to the AEO, which is more international, like what was explained? So that's the second question. And then the last question, I wanted to find out whether these AOE for agents and bonded warehouse operators, whether there will be a mandatory requirement or it will just be a voluntary one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mabin. Yeah, for those questions. I think I can tackle them.
Yes.
The first question I believe he asked was, he's running a clearing agent firm that also happens to be bonded warehouse operators, and he was asking what the benefits would be like for somebody running both of them. All right, so the benefits that I had spoken about earlier were only in relating to importers and exporters, those particular economic operators. But for clearing agents and for bonded warehouse operators, they will have their own benefits which relate to their space, because obviously these benefits have been tailored. The ones that I spoke about have been tailored to meet importers and exporter needs. Obviously, clearing agents themselves, they will need their own types of benefits, which allows them to, which will benefit them in their space, and bonded warehouse operators as well, which will benefit them in their space. I can't get into what exactly those benefits will be, but we are scheduled to have sensitizations over the same, nationwide sensitizations over the same later on in the year. I think in about a month or so, we're going to start conducting nationwide sensitizations to engage both internal and external stakeholders on what benefits will accrue to all these different types of economic operators. The reason they have different benefits is just like I said, because they operate in different spaces. And the ultimate goal is to have all economic operators as AEOs. So for instance, if you're an importer and you're an AEO, then your clearing agent is an AEO, your transporter is an AEO, your bonded warehouse operator is an AEO, then all of you will be receiving benefits in relation to your space. This is going to lead to a seamless flow of goods. And so that's about clearing agents and bonded warehouse operators. Of course, if you are both a clearing agent and a bonded warehouse operator, you have to apply once we introduce them into the program. You have to apply for them separately. We don't necessarily have a combination, a combined application. So you apply to be an AO as a clearing agent. Nafuti, as a bonded warehouse operator, you apply to be that. If you're successful under both economic operating statuses, then you will be accredited as wise. And then there's a second question that he asked. He had asked that would there be a need for people that are or companies that are on the CACP would there be a need for them to migrate to the AEO? That is purely up to the companies themselves, because, and I think this will even answer his next question, both the CACP and the AEO are completely voluntary. They are not mandatory at all. In order to be on the program, ufunikamashtako apply. And then based on the application, we see whether you're going to be able to be on the program. Maybe what I should have also emphasized as I was explaining the benefits is that those benefits that I had spoken about were applicable to both CACP and AEOs. But AEO, being more internationally recognized, has got more benefits than just those. They've got issues like extended mutual benefits from partner government agencies, because for CACP, it's only ZRA that you deal with. For CACP, ZRA because it's a local program. But AEO is internationally recognized. It's actually called the National AEO. So it's not only ZRA alone. My partner government agencies, per program, per AEO, they also extend benefits to you. Currently, we've got Zambia Metrology Agency and Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency. Those two government agencies are per AEO program. So mukajoina AEO, muzatenga ma benefits from these other government agencies as well, not just ZRA. But in CACP, it's basically going to be that as well. And then you've got issues like mutual benefits from other customs administrations. Per AEO, at least because it's internationally recognized, so it's not only found in Zambia, unlike CACP. CACP pesa kachem Zambia, but for AEO, it's found across the world under member states that are under WCO. So ingakuli AEO maybe in a neighboring country or any other country, and there's AEO here, we're able to have a mutual recognition agreement so that AEOs in Zambia are recognized as AEOs in that country, and vice versa. They'll also be AEOs also be able to to print their own release orders, self-printing of release orders. They'll be able to have a look at their own declarations. So AEO is more beneficial because it literally gives more benefits beyond the AEO. And both of them are completely voluntary. None of them are mandatory. So if you're in CACP, AEO, you apply. Yeah, and so forth.
Okay. In the interest of time, we also have another question on Facebook, which reads, "Very educative program. My question is just on the amount you charge, especially on motor vehicle clearance. These amounts are too high and making vehicles look too expensive. Surely someone buys a car at $15,000 and paying $40,000 plus just to clear." That's a question from Kenneth Afuta on Facebook.
Okay. Well, that is not necessarily in line with the program, but I guess what I can say is that for motor vehicles, we've got standard rates. There were standardized specific duty rates, and this was done a few years back. So it really just depends on the year model and the engine capacity of the vehicle that you're going. Otherwise, from above 5 years, it's also they're all going to pay the same amount. As long as they're above 5 years, they'll pay the same amount of duty, as long as you look at the body type, the engine capacity, and the body type, the engine capacity, and the year model above 5 years. And then we also have from 2 to 5 years, which will also fall under specific duty rates. The specific duty rates for those. The reason why we have this specific duty rates is actually to allow you for plan, because it shouldn't come as a shock to you when you, like you said, you order a vehicle for this certain amount, and then when you bring it in, you're surprised at how much you are paying for duties. No, we've got specific duty rates. And the reason that is there is to allow you to plan ahead, so that even as you are budgeting for that vehicle, you also have to budget for the taxes that are going to be paid for it. Yeah.
Abigail, is there any penalty given to the members who are non-compliant?
Thank you so much for that question. So, there are penalties that come with not being compliant whilst you're on this program, but that also depends on the gravity of that particular offense. So, depending on the gravity or the seriousness of the offense, you can either be suspended or withdrawn from the program, pending maybe further investigation.
Okay. In the interest of time, Chibeka, just activities, mention just 2 activities that you've planned for the year 2024.
Okay, so I guess one of them is that we are planning on formalizing and strengthening partnerships with other customs, other customs administrations, because the AEO is not only recognized in Zambia, so we have earmarked at least to start with South Africa Revenue Services, so that we have a mutual recognition agreement. And also we want to bring on board more partner government agencies, so that will also allow us to show one government face at the borders. We've got 2, but we want to bring more on board. Yeah, and I mentioned we're also going to have more sensitization, nationwide sensitization, for both internal and external stakeholders. Yeah.
Okay. Abigail, any challenges first in the implementation of this program?
Certainly, with the introduction of any new program, you will definitely face issues of skepticism because people don't have enough information about the program. So, of course, you have a bit of resistance. And like my colleague said, this is purely a voluntary program. Yeah, so you apply on your own, and we'll consider, depending on what we find in your application and the self-assessment questionnaire. Yes.
Okay. Your concluding remarks, Chibeka.
Okay, so yeah, I would basically just like to reach out to various taxpayers and encourage them to apply for either the CACP or AEO. You don't necessarily have to be a multinational company or a very big company to apply for it. All you have to do is have internal controls in place and be existing for more than 3 years. And then at least you'll be able to apply and we can pick it up from there. The trade we've mentioned a lot of benefits, and you would really enjoy from it if you were part of the program. Yes.
Well, Abigail and Chibeka, it's been a pleasure having you on Tax Chat ZRA.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure for us to be here as well.
Okay. Well, viewers, we've come to the end of the show. I believe you've learned 1 or 2 things about the topic that we had today, which is authorized economic operator. I believe you've learned 1 or 2 things. Remember, my tax, your tax, our destiny.
Alo, bagamba yashani. Uthi mwangwasha so sure. You can't leave me behind like this. You move, we know. Nikamba naiwe. You don't realize that by taking your receipt, you are ensuring a fair playing field for businesses and their tax obligations. Take me with you, Iwe.
By ensuring we receive a receipt every time we make a purchase, we're ensuring that businesses honor their tax obligations.
Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.